Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, you just can't seem to get ahead? Like you're working, but not really moving forward? You're not alone. Getting ahead in life isn't about luck or waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making choices every day that build a better future. It's about knowing what really matters and taking real steps, even when it feels hard or you don't feel motivated. In this video, we're going to explore everything you need to get ahead in life. I'm going to share clear, practical ideas that anyone can use, starting today. You don't need special skills or big resources. You just need a plan and the right mindset. What if you could wake up each morning with a sense of purpose? What if you could handle challenges calmly and keep going even when things get tough? What if small daily actions could change your whole life? This isn't about quick fixes or complicated advice. It's about honest, real things you can do to grow stronger, smarter, and more focused. Imagine feeling proud of your progress, confident in your decisions, and excited about what's ahead. That's possible, and it starts with simple steps. If you're ready to stop feeling stuck and start making real progress, stick around. Together, we'll uncover the habits and ideas that lead to success. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear path forward to improve your life day by day. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Build a clear goal and commit to it daily. Most people never achieve what they want in life, not because they lack intelligence, talent, or luck, but because they never define clearly what they're trying to achieve in the first place. They drift through the days, checking off to-do lists, fulfilling obligations, and reacting to the world around them without any guiding direction. Their life becomes a cycle of activity without progress, of movement without meaning. That's the silent trap most people fall into, and it all begins with one missing piece: a clear and purposeful goal. If you want to get ahead in life, you have to begin by knowing exactly what ahead looks like for you. You must take the time to sit with yourself and think deeply, not about what others want for you, not about what looks impressive to society, but about what truly matters to you. What would give your life meaning? What would make you feel proud at the end of your day? What are you willing to struggle for, work for, sacrifice for? This isn't a question you answer in one sitting and then forget. It's a way of life. It's a practice of self-honesty and vision. Having a clear goal is not about putting pressure on yourself to do something grand or extraordinary. It's about clarity. It's about deciding who you want to become and what kind of life you want to build. And once that decision is made, you must return to it daily. You must recommit. Not when you feel like it, not when everything is going well. Daily. That's how real progress is made. Not through occasional bursts of effort, but through consistent alignment with a clear purpose. A goal gives your life direction. It becomes a filter. When you know what you're working toward, it becomes easier to say no to what doesn't serve you. You stop wasting time on things that don't move you forward. You begin to build discipline because your actions are tied to a reason that matters. You stop chasing distractions and start making deliberate choices. This doesn't just make you more productive, it makes you more alive, makes you focused. It makes you centered. And in a world full of noise and temptation, being centered is a rare and powerful state. The first step to building a clear goal is honesty. You have to remove the noise of other people's opinions and ask yourself, what do I truly want? This question isn't about fantasy or daydreams. It's about clarity. It's about sitting with your life as it is right now and asking what's missing. What do I want to create? What impact do I want to make? What kind of person do I want to be in 5 years, in 10? Your goal can be anything, but it must be real. It must be specific. It must be rooted in something that genuinely matters to you, not a trend, not a passing desire, not something you feel you should do, but something that calls to your inner self. If it doesn't move you emotionally, it won't move you into action. You must feel the weight of it. It must be something you're willing to wake up early for, sacrifice comfort for, and stay disciplined for, even when nobody is watching. Once you have this goal, you need to write it down. Not type it into your phone, not keep it in your head. Write it down, clearly and simply, in your own words. Something powerful happens when you take the time to write your goal by hand. It forces you to get clear. It becomes a contract with yourself. It becomes a statement of intention. And more importantly, it becomes a tool you can return to every day. Now comes the hard part. You have to commit to it daily. Commitment is not a feeling. It is a decision that you renew every morning. Motivation will come and go. Some days you'll feel tired. Some days you'll feel discouraged. Life will test you. Your plans will fall apart. You'll make mistakes. You'll feel stuck. But commitment means showing up anyway. Commitment means honoring the decision you made when you were clear, even when life becomes cloudy. This daily commitment can take many forms. It could be a morning ritual where you read your goal out loud. It could be a 5-minute reflection at night, where you evaluate whether your actions that day moved you closer or further away. It could be a journal entry where you map out one step you will take today. The form doesn't matter. What matters is consistency. You have to keep your goal alive. You have to feed it. You have to stay connected to it. That connection is what turns a vague dream into a real result. One of the biggest mistakes people make is setting a goal and then thinking the work is done. They create a vision board. They feel inspired for a few days, and then life gets busy. The goal fades. The spark dies, and soon they're right back where they started. This happens because the goal was never integrated into their daily life. If something is truly important to you, it cannot be an occasional thought. It must become part of your identity. It must shape how you live each day. To commit to your goal daily, you need structure. You need to build habits that align with your vision. These habits are the vehicles that carry you forward. Without them, you're relying on willpower and emotion, and both are unreliable. Design your day around your goal. Build routines that make progress inevitable. Wake up at a set time. Protect time each day to focus on your most important task. Cut out distractions that don't serve your purpose, and when you get off track, as everyone does, don't waste time on guilt. Return to the goal. Recommit. Refocus. Progress is never perfect. There will be days you fall short. There will be days you lose momentum. That's part of the process. What matters is not perfection, it's persistence. If you keep showing up, if you keep coming back, if you keep taking even the smallest step forward, you will get there. The person who commits daily will always outperform the person who waits for inspiration. Talent can't beat consistency. Luck can't replace discipline. Success goes to the one who refuses to give up. Building a life worth living requires patience. It requires vision. It requires a level of self-respect that refuses to accept a life of distraction and mediocrity. When you have a goal and you show up for it every day, you begin to feel proud of yourself, not for what you've achieved, but for the kind of person you're becoming. And that's the real reward, not the status, not the applause, but the inner strength you build by honoring your word to yourself. There's something deeply grounding about living with a goal. You no longer feel lost. You stop comparing your life to others because you have your own path. You don't need external validation because you have internal direction. You become harder to shake. You stop wasting energy on meaningless things. You move with purpose. You walk with intention. And even when things go wrong, you're never truly off track, because you know where you're going. A clear goal is not just about achievement, it's about alignment. It's about living in a way that's true to you. It's about creating a life that feels right, not just looks right. And when you commit to that life daily, you begin to change, not just what you do, but who you are. You become more focused, more patient, more determined. You stop waiting for life to happen and start shaping it with your own hands. If you want to get ahead in life, stop chasing everything and start building one thing. Pick one goal that matters to you deeply. Make it clear. Make it real. Write it down. Read it every day. Align your habits with it. Make decisions through its lens. Say no to anything that pulls you away from it. And above all, show up for it daily. Especially when it's hard, especially when it's boring, especially when no one else believes in you. Because, in the end, the people who get ahead are not the ones who had the easiest path or the most support. They are the ones who decided what they wanted and refused to quit. They showed up. They built themselves brick by brick, day by day, one small effort at a time. They kept their eyes on the goal. And they didn't just think about it, they lived it. So begin now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now, choose your goal, own it, and build your life around it. Everything changes when you do. Chapter 2. Take full responsibility for every part of your life. Most people spend their lives waiting for better circumstances, waiting for someone to understand them, waiting for the right time to begin, or waiting for life to finally become fair. They point fingers, they blame their past, their parents, their job, the economy, their boss, their partner, or their lack of education, and while doing so, they quietly hand over their power. They give up control of their life by refusing to own it. If you want to get ahead, truly ahead, you have to stop doing that. You have to take full responsibility for every part of your life, not just the easy parts, not just the wins, but everything, every struggle, every outcome, every moment. This doesn't mean that everything that's happened to you is your fault. Life is unfair, and things happen that are outside of your control. But there's a difference between fault and responsibility. You are not to blame for everything that hurt you, but you are responsible for how you respond to it, how you grow from it, and what you choose to do with it. Responsibility is not about guilt, it's about power. As long as you refuse to take ownership of your life, you are powerless to change it. Taking responsibility begins with a mindset shift. It requires that you stop seeing yourself as a victim of your life and start seeing yourself as the author of it. This means looking at your current reality, not just the good parts, but the parts that frustrate you, the patterns that repeat, the relationships that drain you, and asking one hard question: how am I contributing to this? That question is uncomfortable, but it's the most liberating question you'll ever ask. It invites you to stop reacting and start leading. Every time you blame someone else for how you feel or where you are, you give them control over your life. You place your happiness, your peace, your growth in someone else's hands. But when you decide to own your choices, your reactions, your direction, you take that power back. You become free, not from problems, but from helplessness. You can't control what life gives you, but you can control what you do with it. That's where your power lives. Think about it. Everything in your life today, your habits, your mindset, your health, your income, your relationships, is a reflection of choices you've made. Some of those choices were conscious. Others were habits formed without thought, but they're yours. And if you want something different, you must choose differently. This is not meant to be harsh. It's meant to be hopeful, because the same way you created your current life, you can create a new one. When you take full responsibility, you stop making excuses. You stop saying things like, "I can't because," or "it's just how I am," or "they never let me." Instead, you begin to speak with clarity and ownership. You say things like, "I chose not to," "I didn't make it a priority," or "I allowed that to happen." That kind of honesty is rare, but it's where growth begins. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. You can't evolve if you're still pretending that your life is someone else's fault. Responsibility is not always obvious. Sometimes it hides behind habits you've accepted as normal. Maybe you scroll your phone for hours and then complain about not having time to work on your goals. Maybe you stay silent in relationships and then feel resentful for not being heard. Maybe you avoid difficult conversations and then feel stuck in environments that don't support you. In all these cases, you are not powerless. You are making choices, and those choices are shaping your life, whether you admit it or not. Taking responsibility also means cleaning up your inner world. Your thoughts are not just background noise, they are instructions to your life. If you constantly think, "I'll never get ahead," or "I'm not good enough," or "people always take advantage of me," those beliefs shape your decisions. You begin to act in ways that confirm those thoughts. You settle, you shrink, you give up too soon. But when you take responsibility for your inner world, you begin to challenge those patterns. You learn to interrupt the lies you've told yourself and replace them with truths that empower you. This process is not easy. It requires humility. It means admitting that you've played a role in the things that aren't working. It means facing your own patterns, your own procrastination, your own fears, your own unwillingness to change. But that's the price of freedom. Real responsibility is not just about working harder, it's about becoming more aware. It's about paying attention to the ways you avoid discomfort, the ways you sabotage your own progress, and the stories you repeat to protect your ego. Taking responsibility also means taking action. It's not enough to say "I'm in control" if you don't follow through with real change. You must act like the person you want to become. That means building discipline, even when it's uncomfortable. That means making decisions aligned with your goals, even when it's unpopular. That means being honest about your limitations and doing the work to grow beyond them. Excuses don't build anything. Ownership does, and ownership means looking at your results and learning from them. If something didn't work, you don't blame others, you study the outcome. You ask what you could have done differently. You adjust. You get better. You stay focused on progress, not perfection. This mindset turns every challenge into a lesson. It keeps you moving forward when others stop. It makes you resilient in a world that often rewards victimhood. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. Not your boss, not your parents, not your friends, not the government, not life itself. If you want a better life, you must build it. If you want freedom, you must earn it. If you want peace, you must protect it. That's what taking full responsibility means. It means no more waiting, no more blaming, no more hoping that something outside of you will change. You are the one who must change, and the good news is, you can. There's something deeply empowering about knowing that your life is in your hands. You stop looking at other people's success with envy. You start focusing on your own growth. You stop complaining about what you can't control and start building on what you can. You stop drifting and start creating. That shift alone puts you ahead of most people, because most people will never take full responsibility. They'll continue blaming, hoping, waiting, and staying stuck. But not you. You've made a different decision. You've chosen to own every part of your life. That doesn't mean it'll be easy. It means it'll be yours, and that's worth everything. Because once you realize you're responsible, you can never again pretend to be powerless. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to decide, and then live that decision with consistency. Your life is your message. Your habits are your proof. Your progress is your responsibility. Every day is a chance to act in alignment with your values, to create a future that reflects your deepest truth, and to become someone you're proud of. That's the path forward. That's how you get ahead, not by waiting for life to get easier, but by becoming stronger, clearer, and more responsible with every step you take. Chapter 3. Wake up early and plan your day ahead. Most people start their day already behind. They wake up late, reach for their phone, scroll through distractions, and react to whatever the world throws at them. They move through their morning in a rush, trying to catch up, already tired before the real work has even begun. Then they wonder why they feel overwhelmed, scattered, and unproductive. It's not because they're lazy, it's because they've surrendered the most powerful part of their day, the beginning. If you want to get ahead in life, you must take that time back. You must wake up early and use that time with purpose. You must begin each day by directing it, not reacting to it. When you wake up early, before the noise of the world begins, you gain access to something most people never experience: mental clarity. In those early hours, your mind is still untouched by stress, untouched by obligation, untouched by distractions. This is when you can think clearly, plan intentionally, and center yourself before the day demands your attention. It's a space where you are in control, where you decide what matters, where you give yourself time to focus on the person you are becoming, not just the tasks you need to complete. Getting up early is not about being part of a trend or impressing others with discipline. It's about taking ownership of your time. Every hour before the world wakes up is an hour that belongs entirely to you. No one is emailing you. No one is asking for your help. No one is filling your head with noise. That quiet is a gift. And if you use it well, it becomes the foundation of your growth. In that quiet, you can think, you can read, you can write, you can reflect, you can train your body, you can strengthen your mind, you can lay the bricks of your future while others are still sleeping through theirs. Planning your day ahead in the early morning sets the tone for everything that follows. Instead of letting the day pull you in 100 directions, you enter it with direction. You know your top priorities. You know what matters. You've already decided what deserves your time, and more importantly, what doesn't. This clarity is powerful. It reduces stress. It keeps you from wasting energy on things that don't move you forward. It gives your actions meaning and your time structure. You don't need to plan every minute or schedule every second. You just need to be intentional. Take a few minutes each morning to ask yourself, what is the most important thing I must do today? What can I let go of that doesn't matter? What will I be proud of when the day ends? These questions don't just organize your time. They align your focus with your values. They prevent you from drifting into chaos. They help you build each day like a deliberate step towards something bigger. There's a deep sense of peace in knowing how your day will unfold. Not because everything will go perfectly. It won't. But because you've chosen how to respond, instead of leaving it to chance. You've built a foundation that gives you flexibility without losing control. You've created a rhythm that lets you recover from setbacks without falling apart. That rhythm begins in the early hours, when your mind is calm and your choices are clear. Starting the day early also gives you momentum. The first hour of your day shapes the rest. If you begin it with intention, discipline, and quiet strength, that mindset carries into your action. You make better decisions. You move with purpose. You're not reacting, you're leading. But if you start your day in chaos, you're already off balance. You're playing catch-up. You're trying to recover instead of creating. That difference might seem small, but over time it changes everything. Think of each morning as a reset. No matter what happened yesterday, today is yours to design. Waking up early reminds you of that. It gives you space to let go of stress, to reconnect with your vision, to prepare yourself for the day ahead. When you wake up late, you don't get that chance. You jump into the middle of your day with no grounding. You're already behind, already rushed, already overwhelmed. That's not a strong place to live from. That's not how leaders operate. If you want to make the most of your life, you must begin by making the most of your mornings. You must reclaim the time that most people waste. You must create a routine that centers you, whether it's 10 minutes or an hour. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. You need a habit that reminds you each day that your time is valuable, your mind is powerful, and your actions matter. Use your mornings to set your standards. Don't just plan your tasks, plan how you want to show up. Decide who you're going to be today. Are you going to be focused or distracted? Courageous or afraid? Present or scattered? Your answers shape your behavior. Your behavior shapes your outcomes. That level of intention is not possible when you're rushing out of bed at the last minute. It happens in the space you give yourself when you rise early and take control. Waking up early is a decision you make once, but a habit you build daily. At first, it might feel unnatural. Your body might resist. Your old habits might push back. But if you stay with it, if you keep showing up, it becomes part of who you are. You stop thinking about it. You just do it, and the benefits begin to multiply. You start feeling calmer, stronger, clearer. You start making progress in areas you used to neglect. You begin to see the difference between living by design and living by reaction. There's something profoundly human about greeting the day before the world begins. In that space, you connect with yourself. You remember what matters. You remind yourself that your life is not something that happens to you, it's something you build, and each day is a fresh chance to build it well. That kind of thinking changes everything. It gives you a quiet confidence, a steady resolve, a foundation of strength that you carry with you through the noise of the day. When you plan your day ahead, you eliminate unnecessary stress. You no longer waste energy on decision fatigue. You know what needs your attention, and you've already prepared for it. That preparation makes you more productive. It makes you more calm. It allows you to say no to distractions with confidence, because you're clear on what you're saying yes to. As the weeks go by, you'll begin to notice something. Your days have more direction. Your mind feels lighter. You handle challenges with more ease. You move through the day with more peace. That's not an accident. That's the reward for taking your mornings seriously. That's the power of showing up early and planning your life with care. Most people never find this power because they never slow down enough to create it. But you have the chance to choose differently. You can begin tomorrow, not by sleeping in, not by rushing, but by rising early and giving your life the attention it deserves. You can take a moment to breathe, to think, to decide, and in that decision, you begin to separate yourself from the crowd. You begin to lead yourself. You begin to get ahead, not just in your work, but in your life. The world is loud. The day will pull at you from every direction. But if you start it strong, if you own your mornings, you'll carry that strength with you. You'll be the calm in the storm, the steady in the rush, the focus in the chaos. That kind of presence doesn't come by accident. It is built, one early morning at a time. Chapter 4. Remove distractions and protect your mental focus. The most valuable thing you own is not your time. It's your attention. Time passes no matter what you do with it. But what you give your attention to shapes your entire life. Every day, from the moment you wake up to the time you close your eyes, Something is fighting for your focus. A notification, a message, a headline, a thought that pulls you away. And the truth is, most people don't protect their focus. They let it drift. They let it scatter. They spend their days pulled in 100 directions, doing a little of everything and finishing nothing that matters. If you want to get ahead in life, you must stop letting your attention be hijacked. You must remove distractions, not just once, but over and over again. You must protect your mental focus like it's your future, because it is. Distractions are not just things that waste time. They are things that steal your energy, dilute your clarity, and delay your progress. They take you away from the work that really matters. They make you feel busy without being productive, and they slowly chip away at your ability to think deeply, to work with intensity, and to live with purpose. Every time you allow a distraction, you're training your mind to be reactive instead of focused. You're teaching yourself to live at the surface, constantly switching, constantly shifting, never settling into anything long enough to make real progress. You don't need to be perfect to succeed, but you do need to be present, and presence requires discipline. It requires that you take back control of what enters your mind and what stays there. Most people never do this. They let the world in without a filter. They open their phone and scroll through endless noise. They answer every call. They check every ping. They jump from one thing to the next, believing this is how modern life works. But this isn't life, it's a distraction loop. And the longer you stay in it, the harder it becomes to think clearly and act intentionally. The first step to protecting your focus is understanding what distracts you most. You have to be honest. Is it your phone? Is it your phone? Is it email? Is it background noise? Is it your own thoughts constantly spinning in circles? Whatever it is, you must name it. You must face it, because once you name your distractions, you can begin to design around them. You can begin to take control. You can begin to create boundaries that protect your energy and your mind. Removing distractions doesn't mean escaping the world. It means shaping it. It means designing an environment that supports your focus, instead of breaking it. That might mean turning off notifications. It might mean leaving your phone in another room while you work. It might mean saying no to meetings that don't matter. It might mean choosing a quiet space over a loud one. Whatever it takes, you must build a system that allows your mind to go deep, to stay with a task, and to finish what you start. There's a kind of power that comes from focused work. When you enter a space where your attention is undivided, you tap into a deeper level of thinking. Ideas become clearer. Solutions become simpler. Progress becomes faster. But this space isn't given. It's created. And it only happens when you deliberately block out everything that doesn't belong. Focus is not natural in today's world. It's a choice you make every day. A choice to care more about your future than your feed. A choice to be unavailable for the things that waste your potential. It's not just about what you remove, it's also about what you protect. Your mind is not a machine. It needs rest. It needs order. It needs space. If you fill every moment with input, music, podcasts, videos, updates, you never give your thoughts a chance to breathe. You never let your ideas mature. You never feel the stillness that leads to clarity. To think clearly, you must give your mind room to settle. This is not laziness, it is mental hygiene. Just like your body needs sleep, your mind needs silence. When you protect your mental focus, you begin to live differently. You move slower but with more precision. You stop chasing 10 things at once and start finishing what you begin. You stop feeling like there's never enough time because you start using time with intention. You build things. You solve problems. You move toward your goals without constantly stopping to check who liked your post or who just messaged you. That level of focus is rare, and that's why it's valuable. Distractions don't always look like distractions. Sometimes they look like responsibilities. A friend asking for your time, a task that seems urgent but isn't important, a project that feels productive but doesn't actually move you forward. To protect your focus, you must learn the difference between busy and effective, between reactive and proactive, between movement and momentum. That difference is what separates those who stay stuck from those who grow quickly. You must also protect your mental space from internal noise, overthinking, self-doubt, worrying about things you can't control. All of these are distractions too. They may not come from outside, but they drain your energy just the same. To master your focus, you must learn how to observe your thoughts without becoming them. You must catch yourself when you spiral and return your attention to what matters. You must train your mind to focus not just on tasks, but on truth, not on fear, but on action. This is a daily practice, and the more you do it, the more power you reclaim. Focus is not just about productivity, it's about peace. When you live with constant distraction, your mind never rests. You always feel behind. You're always juggling. You're always one step away from burnout. But when you remove distractions and guard your focus, you begin to feel grounded. You feel calm even in a busy world. You feel steady even when things change. That stability is not a result of luck. It's the result of deliberate choices made again and again. Start small. Remove one distraction from your workspace. Silence one notification. Set one boundary. Work for 30 minutes without switching tasks. Then do it again tomorrow. Build that muscle. Strengthen that skill. Over time, your mind will stop craving constant stimulation. You'll be able to stay with one thing longer. Think more clearly, decide more quickly, and achieve more with less stress. You don't need more time. You need better attention. Because when you focus fully on what matters, you accomplish more in 1 hour than most people do in 3. That's the real edge. That's how you move forward while others are spinning in circles. You stay with your path. You stay with your work. You stay with your purpose. Don't wait for the world to get quieter. It won't. The noise will only grow. But you can grow stronger. You can become the kind of person who stays centered in a world of distraction, who chooses depth over speed, who finishes what they start. That kind of discipline is rare, but it's available to you, right now, one decision at a time. Close the tab, turn off the alerts, step into the quiet, and protect what matters most: your attention, your clarity, your future. Because every minute you give to distraction is a minute stolen from your progress. And every minute you protect is a step closer to the life you were meant to build. Chapter 5. Develop strong self-discipline through small daily actions. Self-discipline is not about force or punishment. It is not about being harsh with yourself or living without joy. It is about choosing long-term strength over short-term relief. It is about building the kind of life where your actions support your goals, not sabotage them. Most people think discipline is something you're born with, like a personality trait or a mindset that only a few have. But that belief is wrong. Discipline is built. It's not created through one big decision. It's created through small, consistent choices made every single day, even when no one is watching. Especially when no one is watching. If you want to create real progress in your life, you have to stop waiting to feel ready. You have to stop searching for motivation. Motivation is unreliable. It fades. It changes with your mood, the weather, your energy, or your circumstances. But discipline is different. Discipline says, I'll do what I said I would do, even when I don't feel like it. That decision is not easy, but it is powerful. It's what separates those who only dream from those who actually build something. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. In fact, that approach usually fails. You don't need to take massive action all at once. You need to take one small action that challenges your comfort, and you need to repeat it until it becomes normal. That's how discipline grows. One tiny win at a time. Wake up 10 minutes earlier. Choose water instead of soda. Finish a task before checking your phone. These actions seem small, but they carry a message. You are taking control. Every time you follow through on a small commitment, you're proving something to yourself. You're proving that your word matters. You're proving that your word matters. You're proving that your decisions are stronger than your emotions. You're building a track record with yourself, and that trust builds momentum. You don't need willpower forever. You just need it long enough to create a new habit. Once that habit is in place, it takes less energy to maintain. It becomes part of who you are. Discipline is not about never making mistakes. It's about not letting mistakes stop you. You will fall off track. You will slip. You will break your routine. That's human. The difference is in what happens next. Do you let it spiral into shame, guilt, and quitting, or do you reset and return to your path immediately? Discipline says, I keep going. I don't need perfect days. I just need to show up again and again, until showing up becomes my default. Many people wait for the right time to become disciplined, but there is no perfect time. Life is always busy. There's always something competing for your attention. If you want to grow, you have to stop waiting for the ideal moment and start using the moment you have now. Start small. Start quietly. Start without anyone knowing. What matters is that you start. Consistency is more important than intensity. Doing something every day, even for 5 minutes, beats doing something perfectly once a week. The biggest shift happens when you begin to enjoy the process, not just the results. At first, doing the hard thing feels like a burden, but over time, you begin to feel proud of your effort. You begin to crave that feeling of control, that feeling of doing what you said you would. That pride fuels more action. It becomes a positive cycle. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. You must also learn to protect your environment. Discipline is easier when your surroundings support it. If your kitchen is full of junk food, it's harder to eat clean. If your phone is full of distractions, it's harder to focus. You don't need more willpower, you need less temptation. Remove the things that break your focus. Remove the things that pull you away from your best self. Set up your space so that discipline becomes the natural choice, not the painful one. Track your progress, not to be perfect, but to stay honest. Write down your habits. Check them off daily. Don't lie to yourself. Celebrate the wins. No matter how small, each checkmark is a step forward. Each repetition is a vote for the person you're becoming. You don't need to do everything at once. Just don't stop. Keep your promises, protect your progress, learn from setbacks, and keep moving forward, even when the pace is slow. Understand this, the world rewards the disciplined. It may not be obvious at first, but over time it becomes clear. The person who writes every day becomes an author. The person who studies every night becomes an expert. The person who trains consistently becomes strong. The rewards don't show up immediately, but they do show up. And when they do, you'll realize they weren't the reward at all. The real reward is who you became along the way. The kind of person who doesn't quit, the kind of person who follows through, the kind of person who does hard things, not because it's easy, but because it's right. There's a quiet confidence that comes with discipline. You stop needing external praise. You stop seeking shortcuts. You no longer feel threatened by others' success, because you know what it took to build yours. You've done the work. You've shown up. You've sacrificed comfort for progress. That confidence is unshakable, because it wasn't given. It was earned. The more you practice discipline in the small things, the more prepared you are for the big moments. When life hits hard, when things fall apart, when you feel lost, your habits will hold you. Your structure will guide you. Your self-respect will remind you that you've been here before, and you've handled worse. Discipline becomes your foundation. Not just in your career or your health, but in your life. Discipline also teaches you to delay pleasure, to wait, to build, to understand that not all rewards are immediate, and that the best ones are the ones that last. In a world of quick fixes and instant gratification, this mindset is rare, but it's also the mindset of builders, of leaders, of people who create lives of meaning instead of chasing temporary highs. When you delay what's easy, you make room for what's meaningful. Let go of the idea that discipline is painful. It's not. Indiscipline is painful. Living below your potential is painful. Wasting years and wondering what could have been, that's painful. Discipline is freedom. It is structure that supports your goals. It is energy spent with purpose. It is effort pointed in the right direction. You don't need to fear it. You need to embrace it. There's nothing magical about disciplined people. They don't have superpowers. They've just decided to be stronger than their excuses, and that's a decision available to anyone, including you. Start today. Choose one small habit. Repeat it every day without negotiation. Let that small act teach you what you're capable of. Let it be the seed that grows into a stronger, clearer, more powerful version of you. Every time you feel like quitting, remember this. You are not doing it to impress anyone. You are doing it because your future deserves it. You are doing it because you respect yourself. You are doing it because the person you want to be is shaped by the decisions you make now. Keep going. Stay consistent. Build that strength. Discipline is not a destination, it's a daily choice. And the more you choose it, the more it becomes who you are. Chapter 6. Learn something new and useful every single day. The person you are today is the result of everything you've learned so far, and the person you will become depends entirely on what you choose to learn next. Every day is an opportunity to expand your mind, to strengthen your skills, to sharpen your thinking, and to increase your value to the world. Learning is not something that ends when school ends. It is a daily commitment to growth. If you want to rise above average, if you want to live with clarity, and if you want to lead your own life instead of following someone else's, you must learn something new and useful every single day. Not someday, not when you have time, not when life slows down. Every single day. Learning daily isn't about collecting random facts. It's about learning with purpose. It's about asking yourself, what do I need to understand that I don't yet know? It's about becoming the kind of person who never lets a day pass without becoming just a little bit wiser. That wisdom adds up. One new insight every day turns into a completely different person in a year. It doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to master a language overnight or read an entire book in one sitting. You just need to be hungry, curious, humble enough to admit you don't know everything, brave enough to explore something unfamiliar. Every time you learn something useful, you give yourself an edge. You become more prepared. You become more adaptable. You become less afraid of change. In a world that is always shifting, the people who keep learning are the ones who stay ready. They don't wait for life to teach them hard lessons. They stay ahead by teaching themselves first. They are students of progress, and that mindset puts them in control. You can learn from anything if you're paying attention. A 5-minute conversation with someone thoughtful. A page from a book that challenges your assumptions. A mistake you made that shows you how to improve. A new concept from an online course. A fresh question that sends you into deep thinking. The problem is not a lack of resources. The problem is most people stop noticing the lesson. They move through the day distracted, repeating the same thoughts, reacting to the same triggers, and missing the opportunities right in front of them to grow. If you decide that every day must teach you something valuable, you begin to see life differently. You start listening more closely. You ask better questions. You pause to reflect instead of rushing past everything. You look for insights in difficult moments, instead of just wanting them to end. You stop wasting your experiences and start using them to get better. That shift alone makes your life more meaningful, because it transforms everything into a learning moment. Even failure becomes a gift. Even challenges become tools. The best learners are not the smartest people, they are the most consistent. They learn because they've made learning a habit. They read while others scroll. They listen while others complain. They take notes while others forget. They study what matters to their goals. They build a library of knowledge inside their mind that no one can take from them. And when life tests them, they are ready. Not because they had an easy path, but because they prepared when no one else was paying attention. You don't need hours each day to learn, you need intention. 10 minutes spent fully focused is better than 2 hours of half-hearted effort. You can learn during your commute. You can learn while exercising. You can learn while waiting in line. You can turn wasted moments into training sessions. All it takes is the decision to stop consuming useless noise and start feeding your mind with purpose. Switch the music for a podcast. Replace the endless videos with a short article. Use your mornings to read something valuable. Use your nights to reflect on what you discovered. Learning daily also means asking better questions. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of saying, "I don't know how," ask, "Where can I find out?" Instead of thinking, "I've tried everything," ask, "What haven't I tried yet?" These small shifts lead to big breakthroughs. They keep your mind active. They keep your perspective growing. They keep you from becoming stagnant. Another powerful way to learn daily is to teach others what you're learning. When you share your insights, they deepen. When you explain something, you understand it more clearly. You start to notice what you didn't fully grasp. You fill in the gaps. You build stronger mental connections. Learning is not about keeping knowledge to yourself. It's about passing it forward, helping others grow while you continue growing too. Don't chase only what is easy to learn. Don't avoid topics just because they seem complicated. Stretch your mind. Learn things that challenge your comfort zone. Study ideas that make you think in new ways. Practice skills that take effort to improve. When you push through confusion, you strengthen your ability to focus, to think critically, and to solve real problems. That strength separates leaders from followers. It separates those who adapt from those who fall behind. As you keep learning, your confidence grows. Not fake confidence, but real. Earned confidence. You begin to trust your ability to figure things out. You stop fearing what you don't know, because you know how to learn it. You walk into new situations with curiosity instead of anxiety. You try new things because you believe in your capacity to grow. That mindset doesn't just help you succeed, it makes you unstoppable. Learning also keeps you young, not just physically, but mentally. People stop growing when they stop learning. They get stuck in old routine. They recycle the same thoughts. They lose the spark that keeps life interesting. But when you keep learning, you keep evolving. You keep discovering. You keep expanding your understanding of the world and yourself. That energy brings new opportunities. It attracts growth. It keeps you awake while others are asleep inside their own patterns. There is no finish line, no point at which you've learned enough. The more you grow, the more you see how much more there is to discover. That's not discouraging, it's exciting. It means life never has to feel dull. It means you never have to stop improving. There's always another level, always another insight, always a better way to think, to act, to live. To learn daily is to live with intention, to treat your mind as something sacred, something worth investing in, not just for career growth, but for your peace, your strength, your purpose. Learning shapes the way you view yourself and the world. It affects your relationships, your decisions, your future. It's not just an activity, it's a lifestyle. So decide today. Learn something new. Not tomorrow, not when things slow down. Now. Look around you. What do you need to understand better? What's one thing that would make your life clearer, easier, more meaningful? Go learn it. Don't wait for the perfect source. Start where you are. Take one step, one idea, one action, then do it again tomorrow. You don't need to know everything. You just need to keep learning something. When you make that your habit, your edge grows sharper, your mind grows stronger, and your life starts changing in ways you never imagined. One day at a time, one insight at a time. One new lesson every single day. Chapter 7. Speak honestly and stand strong in every conversation. Most people walk into conversations with fear. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of hurting someone's feelings. Fear of saying too much or not enough. So instead of speaking truthfully, they hide behind polite words, vague answers, and silence. They tell people what they think they want to hear. They nod when they want to speak. They agree when they disagree. They smile to avoid conflict, and slowly, without realizing it, they erase their voice from the world. If you want to live a strong and meaningful life, you cannot keep doing that. You must speak honestly. You must say what you mean. You must learn to stand strong in every conversation, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when your voice shakes. Speaking honestly is not about being loud. It's not about dominating others. It's not about always being right. It's about having the courage to say what is real and the strength to say it with calm and clarity. You don't need to argue. You don't need to attack. You just need to tell the truth as you see it, and do it without backing down. That kind of honesty creates respect. It builds trust. It removes confusion. It clears the air. And most importantly, it gives you peace, because you're no longer pretending to be someone you're not. Honesty in conversation starts with self-respect. If you don't believe that your thoughts matter, that your opinions carry weight, that your truth deserves to be heard, you will keep shrinking in the presence of others. You will hold your words back. You will let others speak for you. But when you know who you are, and when you're willing to express it without apology, everything changes. People begin to see you differently. They listen when you speak. They know where you stand. And even when they disagree, they know your words are real. To speak honestly, you must first be clear with yourself. You must ask, what do I really think? Not what you've been told to think, not what others expect you to say, but what you truly believe deep down. Most people don't do this work. They repeat opinions. They avoid confrontation. But when you're clear with yourself, you can be clear with others. You stop talking in circles. You stop hiding behind small talk. You begin to use your words with purpose. It also means you stop over-explaining. You stop trying to convince people to accept your truth. Your job is not to be liked. It's to be real. Your words don't need to be perfect. They need to be sincere. And the more honest you are, the less energy you waste trying to remember what you said or worrying if people misunderstood you. You start living a clean life, free from the mess of dishonesty and people-pleasing. But honesty also requires responsibility. Being honest does not give you permission to be cruel. It does not mean you speak without care. It means you speak with integrity. You say what is true, but you say it with intention to help, not to harm. You deliver truth with firmness, but also with maturity. You speak directly, but not destructively. You don't raise your voice to prove your point. You let the strength of your truth speak for itself. Standing strong in conversation also means not shrinking when your voice is challenged. There will be times when people push back, when they disagree, when they try to talk over you or twist your words. In those moments you do not fold. You do not soften your truth just to avoid discomfort. You stay grounded. You repeat what matters. You do not let emotional pressure push you off your position. This doesn't mean you refuse to listen. Strong communicators are great listeners, but they listen without losing their center. They consider new ideas, but they don't abandon their values just to fit in. You also have to be willing to walk away from conversations that cross your boundaries. Not every discussion deserves your energy. Not every person deserves your explanation. If someone refuses to hear you, if they attack your character, if they twist your words, you are allowed to leave that space. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. Strength is knowing when to speak, and when silence is the stronger choice. Practicing honest communication will not always be comfortable. Sometimes it will make things harder. It may shake relationships that were built on pretending. It may disappoint people who were used to your silence. It may create distance where there once was fake closeness. But what you lose in comfort, you gain in freedom. You stop walking on eggshells. You stop living in fear of opinions. You stop betraying yourself to protect someone else's feelings. You begin to breathe deeper because your inner world matches your outer world. You cannot grow if you're not honest with the world, and the world cannot grow from your presence if you keep hiding your insight, your ideas, your perspective. Every conversation is a chance to shape something, a relationship, a decision, a belief. If you stay silent, if you water down your words, you let that opportunity pass. But if you speak with truth, and if you do it consistently, you begin to shape the world around you in ways that matter. You become someone people can count on, someone they may not always agree with, but someone they trust. Your words carry weight because they are not casual. They are not designed to impress. They are grounded in your values. In a world full of noise and shallow opinions, that kind of voice stands out. It becomes a signal of stability, and that stability makes people listen, even if it makes them uncomfortable. To get to that level, you must practice. You must speak honestly in small moments, not just big ones. When someone asks how you're doing, don't lie out of habit. When you have an idea in a meeting, share it. When something doesn't feel right, say it. Start small. Stay honest. Build that habit. And with time your voice gets stronger. Not louder, stronger, calmer, clearer, more grounded. You don't need to raise your tone to raise your impact. You just need to speak with conviction. One of the most powerful things you can ever say is, "Here's what I think." It doesn't demand agreement. It doesn't seek approval. It simply stands as a reflection of your mind. Speak that way, and you'll attract others who respect it. Speak that way, and you'll repel those who fear it. Either way, you win. Because your goal is not to win arguments. Your goal is to live honestly. Your goal is to protect your integrity. And that means standing strong in conversation, even when it's inconvenient. Your voice matters. Your words shape your reality. They build your relationship. They influence your future. But only if you use them. Only if you stop holding back. Only if you choose courage over comfort. Speak up. Stand tall. Say what you believe. And say it every time. Not to fight. Not to impress. Not to please. But to live truthfully. And the more you do that, the more powerful your life becomes. Chapter 8. Practice gratitude even when life feels unfair or hard. When life becomes difficult, gratitude is usually the last thing on our minds. Most people only think about being grateful when things are going well, when they're healthy, when their plans are working, when they feel supported. It's easy to feel thankful, but the real test of your mindset and character is not how you respond to blessings, it's how you respond to struggle. Anyone can feel grateful when life is kind. What makes you powerful is your ability to practice gratitude when life feels hard, when things feel unfair, when the weight feels heavy. That kind of gratitude changes you from the inside out. It doesn't erase the pain, but it gives you strength to rise above it. There are moments when nothing makes sense. Plans fall apart. People disappoint you. Life throws problems you didn't see coming, and in those moments, your mind will want to focus on what's missing, what's broken, what's unfair. That's natural. That's human. But if you stay in that space, if you keep feeding your mind only with loss, frustration and anger, you create even more suffering than the situation itself. You begin to drown in negativity, and eventually it clouds your ability to move forward. Gratitude is not denial. It's not pretending everything is perfect. It's not forcing a fake smile. Gratitude is choosing to find one thing, just one, that reminds you life is still worth fighting for. When you choose gratitude in hard times, you are not avoiding the truth. You are balancing it. You are saying, yes, this is painful, but it's not all there is. You are saying, yes, I feel hurt, but I'm not blind to what's still good. Gratitude in difficulty teaches you to look deeper, to see what you would have missed otherwise. It slows you down just enough to notice what remains. The people who stayed, the lessons that surfaced, the strength you're building quietly. And when you train your eyes to find these things in darkness, you become someone the world cannot break easily. Most people live in a pattern of complaint. They talk more about what's wrong than what's right. They focus more on what's unfair than what's possible. Over time, that pattern becomes their identity. They don't just experience hard times, they become bitter, skeptical, and closed off. Gratitude breaks that pattern. Even if life doesn't change overnight, your inner state begins to shift. You feel more centered, more patient, more alive. You begin to notice how much you already have, instead of how much is missing. Practicing gratitude every day, even when it's hard, creates mental discipline. You stop waiting for perfect conditions to feel peace. You stop tying your happiness to outcomes. You start building a stable mind that isn't easily shaken by external events. Gratitude becomes your anchor. No matter how stormy things get, you always have something solid to hold on to. That stability gives you power, especially when life tries to shake your confidence. You do not need massive reasons to be grateful. You need honest ones. A deep breath in the middle of stress, a warm meal when everything else feels cold, a kind word when you're tired, the quiet resilience in your heart that keeps showing up even when nobody sees it. These things are small on the surface, but they hold enormous weight. They are proof that you are still alive, that something in you refuses to give up, that life, even when messy, still offers you moments of grace if you're willing to notice. Gratitude is not a reaction. It is a decision, a conscious choice to pause, reflect, and respond to life from a deeper place. Every time you practice it, even in small ways, you shift the way your brain sees the world. You rewire your thoughts from scarcity to abundance. You stop looking at everything through the lens of what you lack and start seeing what you still carry within you. That shift doesn't happen once. It happens every day you choose not to collapse into hopelessness. There's also a deeper level to gratitude that people miss. It's not just being thankful for what's pleasant. It's also learning to be grateful for what grew you, for the pain that forced you to change, for the silence that taught you to listen, for the failure that showed you your real priorities, for the loneliness that helped you reconnect with your own soul. Gratitude in these forms doesn't always feel good, but it's honest, and honesty, especially in hard times, is the ground where real growth begins. Start small. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, not just the obvious ones, but the quiet ones. Not the dramatic wins, but the steady helpers, the tiny things that most people overlook. Do this daily. Do it when you're tired. Do it when you don't feel like it. Especially then. This is not about ignoring your pain. It's about creating space for something else to exist beside it. Gratitude doesn't erase your hardship. It just reminds you that hardship is not the whole story. When you live this way long enough, you begin to realize that gratitude is a form of power. It protects your perspective. It strengthens your spirit. It lifts your mind out of despair, and it reminds you over and over again that you are not powerless. That even in your worst moments, you still have the ability to choose how you see. That's where your freedom lies. In the choice, in the shift, in the quiet voice inside that says, "This hurts, but I'm still here. This is hard, but I'm still grateful." Life will never be perfect. That's not the goal. The goal is to live it fully, even with its mess and pain and unfair turns. Gratitude helps you do that. It gives you eyes to see meaning where others only see problems. It keeps your heart open when it would be easier to shut down. It helps you rise when life wants to keep you on your knees. So when life feels heavy, when it feels like nothing is going right, when you feel tired of trying, look around, find one thing, then another, then another. You don't need to feel joyful to be grateful. You just need to be willing. The willingness is everything. And once you begin, even in the smallest way, you'll feel the weight begin to shift. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. Gratitude is a quiet strength. It asks nothing but sees everything. It doesn't promise an easier life, but it offers a stronger one. A life where you are not controlled by circumstance, but led by awareness. A life where even the worst day holds a seed of something good, waiting to be noticed. That is the kind of life worth living. Not perfect, not easy, but real, and deeply, powerfully grateful. Chapter 9. Face your fears and take action without hesitation. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that hold people back from living fully. It can freeze you in place, make you question your worth, and convince you that staying comfortable is safer than risking failure. But here is the truth, no one talks about enough. Fear will never disappear. It is part of being human. The key to success is not waiting for fear to vanish. It is learning to face fear directly and take action despite it. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to move forward anyway. When you hesitate because of fear, you lose precious time. Every moment spent doubting or avoiding is a moment when progress stalls. The cost of hesitation is high. Opportunities pass by. Confidence erodes. The habit of acting despite fear is what builds momentum. When you act without hesitation, you create a pattern that grows stronger each time. The first step is always the hardest, but once you take it, the next steps come easier. Action breeds courage, not the other way around. You must understand why fear has so much power. Fear thrives on the unknown. It creates stories in your mind about what could go wrong, about rejection, failure, embarrassment, or pain. These stories become walls that block your path. But these walls are imaginary. They are built from what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, not reality. The moment you decide to act, you tear down those walls piece by piece. The unknown becomes known. The imagined dangers lose their hold. Many people wait for perfect conditions to act. They think they need more information, more preparation, more confidence, but perfect conditions rarely exist. If you wait, you will wait forever. Action teaches you what you need to know. Action reveals your strengths and weaknesses. Action creates clarity. When you face fear head-on, you gain knowledge that no amount of planning can provide. One of the most practical ways to overcome fear is to break down the task into smaller parts. Sometimes fear feels overwhelming because the goal looks too big. When you divide it into manageable steps, you reduce anxiety. You focus on what you can control right now. Taking one small step forward makes the next step clearer. This approach turns fear from a giant into something conquerable. Another key is to change your relationship with fear itself. Instead of seeing fear as a signal to stop, see it as a sign you're growing. Fear is the body's response to stepping outside comfort zones. That's a good thing. It means you are pushing boundaries. It means you are trying. The more you reframe fear as a sign of progress, the less power it has to paralyze you. You begin to welcome it as a companion on your journey, not an enemy. Acting without hesitation requires trust. Trust in yourself and your ability to handle whatever comes. Trust that even if things don't go as planned, you will learn, adapt, and keep going. Building this trust takes practice. It grows each time you choose action over avoidance. Your inner voice changes from "I can't" to "I will try." You become a person who solves problems instead of avoiding them. Fear also shrinks when you focus on purpose. When your reasons for acting are clear and meaningful, fear becomes secondary. Your purpose is the fuel that pushes you past hesitation. When you remind yourself why something matters, whether it's your family, your dreams, your values, you find strength to move forward. Purpose turns action into a mission, and missions don't wait for perfect conditions. You will face setbacks, you will make mistakes, you will fail sometimes. That is inevitable. But the biggest failure is never starting. Hesitation becomes a habit if you let it. It becomes a wall that grows thicker every time you listen to it. The only way to break free is to keep acting, learning from every experience, and refusing to stop. Resilience builds as you move. Courage grows with each attempt. Visualizing success can also help reduce hesitation. When you picture yourself completing the task, handling challenges, and feeling proud, your mind prepares for victory. This mental rehearsal makes action less intimidating. It creates a sense of familiarity with the unknown. When you mentally step into the future where you've already succeeded, you reduce fear's grip on the present. Surround yourself with people who encourage action. Avoid those who fuel doubt and hesitation. Supportive people remind you of your strengths, push you to try and celebrate your progress. They hold you accountable in a positive way. When you're surrounded by action takers, it's easier to take action yourself. Another powerful tool is to set deadlines. Open-ended goals allow fear to grow because there's no pressure to move. Deadlines create urgency. They force you to commit and push past hesitation. Even if you feel scared, knowing that time is limited gives you a reason to start now instead of later. Remember that every great achievement began with a step into fear. No one succeeded by standing still. Those who have built extraordinary lives have one thing in common: they acted before fear could stop them. They showed up even when their hands trembled. They tried even when the outcome was uncertain. Their bravery was not loud or flashy. It was quiet, consistent, and relentless. Taking action without hesitation also means trusting your instincts. Sometimes your gut knows more than your mind. Your intuition often senses opportunities or dangers before your thoughts catch up. Learning to listen to that inner voice helps you move quickly and confidently. It trains you to act decisively instead of getting stuck in analysis paralysis. Fear can be exhausting if you let it control you. It drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and limits your potential. But action creates energy. It gives you momentum. It shifts your body from tension to movement. The simple act of starting releases dopamine, the brain's reward chemical that motivates you to keep going. Action is a powerful antidote to fear's paralysis. To face fear and act immediately, you must develop a daily habit of pushing boundaries. Challenge yourself regularly with small acts of courage. Speak up when it's easier to stay silent. Try new things even if you might fail. Each time you do, you train your mind and body to handle fear better. You build a foundation of bravery that prepares you for bigger challenges. Avoid waiting for permission. Your life is yours to live. No one else will act on your dreams for you. Hesitation often comes from seeking approval or fearing judgment. When you realize that your value does not depend on others' opinions, you free yourself to act boldly. The more you act on your own behalf, the more confident you become. Finally, forgive yourself for past hesitation. Don't waste energy on regret. Instead, learn from those moments and commit to doing differently now. Every day is a fresh chance to choose courage. Every moment is an opportunity to move forward. When you consistently face your fears and act without hesitation, you build a life defined by growth, confidence, and freedom. You become unstoppable. Chapter 10. Control your emotions before they control your results. Emotions are powerful. They can lift you to great heights or drag you down into the depths of frustration and failure. Many people believe emotions just happen to them like uncontrollable forces of nature, but that is not true. You have more control over your emotions than you realize. The difference between success and failure often comes down to who manages their emotions before emotions manage their results. If you want to get ahead in life, mastering your emotional responses is not optional, it is essential. When emotions take charge, decisions become clouded. Anger causes you to react harshly, regretfully. Anxiety freezes your progress. Impatience leads to rushed mistakes. Excitement can make you careless. All these emotional states are normal, but allowing them to dominate your actions leads to poor results. The key is not to suppress your emotions, but to recognize them early, understand their source, and decide how to respond in a way that serves your goals. Controlling emotions starts with awareness. You must learn to notice your feelings as they arise without immediately acting on them. This requires slowing down and paying attention to what you're experiencing inside. Are you feeling frustration because things aren't going your way? Are you feeling fear about a new challenge? Are you feeling jealousy when someone else succeeds? Identifying these emotions early helps you avoid being swept away by them. It creates space between stimulus and response, the critical space where choice lives. Once you're aware, you can begin practicing emotional regulation techniques. One simple but powerful method is to take a deep breath and count to 5 before responding. This gives your mind a moment to process rather than react. Another method is to pause and ask yourself, what do I want to achieve here? This question helps shift focus from the emotion to the desired outcome. When you focus on results rather than feelings, your behavior becomes more deliberate and productive. It's important to remember that emotions are messages, not commands. They signal that something matters to you, but they don't have to dictate your actions. Anger may tell you that a boundary has been crossed, but it doesn't mean you must yell or lash out. Fear may warn you of risk, but it doesn't mean you must freeze or quit. When you listen to emotions without obeying them blindly, you gain power over them. You become the driver, not the passenger. Building emotional control also involves understanding triggers. What situations, people, or thoughts consistently evoke strong emotions in you? When you identify these triggers, you can prepare for them mentally. Preparation reduces surprise and helps you stay grounded. For example, if you know a certain colleague pushes your buttons, you can develop strategies to remain calm in their presence. This reduces emotional reactivity and improves your professional and personal relationships. Another essential skill is reframing negative emotion. Instead of seeing frustration as a sign that you're failing, see it as proof that you care deeply and want better results. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by anxiety, recognize it as energy that can be redirected into focused preparation. Changing how you interpret your emotions transforms their power. It turns them from obstacles into allies that motivate you toward growth. Emotional control requires practice and patience. It will not happen overnight, and there will be times you lose control. That is normal and part of learning. The difference is what you do after losing control. Do you beat yourself up or do you calmly reset and try again? Success belongs to those who keep improving their emotional skills consistently, even after setbacks. Developing emotional control also improves your communication. When you manage your feelings, you speak more clearly and listen more effectively. People respond better to calm confidence than to reactive outbursts. This builds stronger trust and collaboration. Whether you're leading a team, negotiating a deal, or resolving conflicts, controlling your emotions creates better outcomes. Your physical health affects your emotional control as well. Stress, poor sleep, and lack of exercise weaken your ability to regulate emotions. Taking care of your body supports a stable mind. Simple habits like regular movement, quality rest, and mindful breathing help keep your nervous system balanced, making emotional management easier. You should also cultivate emotional resilience. Life will always bring challenges that test your patience and calm. Developing resilience means building a mindset that can bounce back quickly from emotional setbacks. It means accepting that emotions will fluctuate, but not letting those fluctuations derail your progress. Resilience grows when you commit to seeing difficult emotions as temporary states rather than permanent labels. Mindfulness practices are especially helpful in building emotional control and resilience. By training your attention to stay present and observe your feelings without judgment, you weaken emotional reactivity. Mindfulness creates a mental habit of watching thoughts and feelings rather than getting caught up in them. This habit frees you from being a slave to mood swings and impulsive reactions. Another practical approach is journaling. Writing about your emotions helps you understand them better and gain perspective. It reveals patterns you might miss otherwise. When you express your feelings on paper, you externalize them, which reduces their intensity and gives your rational mind room to process. It's also vital to set boundaries that protect your emotional energy. Avoid toxic people and situations that drain your calm. Learn to say no when needed. Protecting your emotional space is not selfish, it's necessary for consistent high performance. When emotions are under control, your focus sharpens. You become more strategic, more creative, and more patient. You make better decisions because you are not reacting to temporary feelings, but acting from a place of clarity and purpose. This control influences every area of life: career, relationships, health, and personal growth. Take responsibility for your emotional state. Don't blame others or external events for how you feel. Own your reactions and commit to improving them. This ownership is empowering because it puts the solution in your hands, not someone else's. In moments of intense emotion, remind yourself that feelings are temporary and will pass. This simple truth creates calm and reduces impulsive behavior. Emotions do not have to define your reality unless you allow them. When you control your emotions before they control your results, you free yourself to live with greater freedom and effectiveness. You stop sabotaging your progress with mood swings or reactive choices. You become a steady force capable of navigating challenges with grace. You become the person who takes life by the reins rather than being tossed around by waves of emotion. In the end, emotional mastery is a lifelong journey. It requires continuous awareness, practice, and kindness toward yourself, but the payoff is enormous: clearer thinking, stronger relationships, and the ability to create the life you truly want. Start today by noticing one emotion as it arises. Pause, choose your response. Practice this small step repeatedly. Over time, you will find yourself calmer, more in control, and more successful. Your results will follow because your emotions no longer control you, they support you. Chapter 11. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher. The people you spend your time with shape who you become more than anything else. Your thoughts, habits, and energy are heavily influenced by your environment and the company you keep. If you surround yourself with individuals who uplift, support, and inspire you, your life trajectory rises naturally. But if you allow negative, doubtful, or toxic people to dominate your space, your growth becomes limited and your spirit weighed down. The choice of who you allow into your life is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. Everyone faces challenges and hard days, but the people around you determine whether those moments destroy or strengthen you. People who lift you higher, encourage your dreams, and believe in your potential even when you doubt yourself. They challenge you to grow without tearing you down. Their energy motivates you to keep moving forward and fuels your desire to become better. Being around such individuals makes hard work feel lighter and setbacks less discouraging. Negative influences, on the other hand, drain your motivation. They criticize your efforts, spread doubt, and focus on limitations instead of possibilities. These voices act like anchors that hold you back, making it harder to rise above challenges. Toxic relationships breed stress, insecurity, and low self-esteem. To get ahead in life, you must recognize the difference between those who build you up and those who break you down. You deserve to be surrounded by people who add value to your journey. Choosing your inner circle intentionally means evaluating existing relationships and being willing to make tough decisions. It means limiting contact with individuals who consistently bring negativity, drama, or discouragement. It means saying no to social invitations or patterns that no longer serve your growth. This process may be uncomfortable at first, especially if you have long-standing connections, but the benefits are immense. Removing toxic influences clears space for positivity and progress. Building a supportive network also means seeking out new connections aligned with your goals and values. Look for people who inspire you, who have qualities you admire, who challenge you to be your best self. Join groups, communities, or activities that attract like-minded individuals. Surrounding yourself with motivated, passionate people creates an environment where success is expected and failure is seen as part of growth. This kind of support system is invaluable during tough times when self-doubt creeps in. Being around positive people doesn't mean avoiding reality or pretending everything is perfect. Healthy relationships involve honest feedback, accountability, and sometimes tough love. The people who lift you higher will tell you the truth kindly, hold you responsible for your actions, and encourage you to face your fears. They do not enable bad habits or excuses. Instead, they push you to improve while respecting your journey and individuality. Fear also shrinks when you focus on purpose. When your reasons for acting are clear and meaningful, fear becomes secondary. Your purpose is the fuel that pushes you past hesitation. When you remind yourself why something matters, whether it's your family, your dreams, your values, you find strength to move forward. Purpose turns action into a mission, and missions don't wait for perfect conditions. You will face setbacks, you will make mistakes, you will fail sometimes. That is inevitable. But the biggest failure is never starting. Hesitation becomes a habit if you let it. It becomes a wall that grows thicker every time you listen to it. The only way to break free is to keep acting, learning from every experience, and refusing to stop. Resilience builds as you move. Courage grows with each attempt. Visualizing success can also help reduce hesitation. When you picture yourself completing the task, handling challenges, and feeling proud, your mind prepares for victory. This mental rehearsal makes action less intimidating. It creates a sense of familiarity with the unknown. When you mentally step into the future where you've already succeeded, you reduce fear's grip on the present. Surround yourself with people who encourage action. Avoid those who fuel doubt and hesitation. Supportive people remind you of your strengths, push you to try and celebrate your progress. They hold you accountable in a positive way. When you're surrounded by action takers, it's easier to take action yourself. Another powerful tool is to set deadlines. Open-ended goals allow fear to grow because there's no pressure to move. Deadlines create urgency. They force you to commit and push past hesitation. Even if you feel scared, knowing that time is limited gives you a reason to start now instead of later. Remember that every great achievement began with a step into fear. No one succeeded by standing still. Those who have built extraordinary lives have one thing in common. They acted before fear could stop them. They showed up even when their hands trembled. They tried even when the outcome was uncertain. Their bravery was not loud or flashy. It was quiet, consistent, and relentless. Taking action without hesitation also means trusting your instincts. Sometimes your gut knows more than your mind. Your intuition often senses opportunities or dangers before your thoughts catch up. Learning to listen to that inner voice helps you move quickly and confidently. It trains you to act decisively instead of getting stuck in analysis paralysis. Fear can be exhausting if you let it control you. It drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and limits your potential. But action creates energy. It gives you momentum. It shifts your body from tension to movement. The simple act of starting releases dopamine, the brain's reward chemical that motivates you to keep going. Action is a powerful antidote to fear's paralysis. To face fear and act immediately, you must develop a daily habit of pushing boundaries. Challenge yourself regularly with small acts of courage. Speak up when it's easier to stay silent. Try new things even if you might fail. Each time you do, you train your mind and body to handle fear better. You build a foundation of bravery that prepares you for bigger challenges. Avoid waiting for permission. Your life is yours to live. No one else will act on your dreams for you. Hesitation often comes from seeking approval or fearing judgment. When you realize that your value does not depend on others' opinions, you free yourself to act boldly. The more you act on your own behalf, the more confident you become. Finally, forgive yourself for past hesitation. Don't waste energy on regret. Instead, learn from those moments and commit to doing differently now. Every day is a fresh chance to choose courage. Every moment is an opportunity to move forward. When you consistently face your fears and act without hesitation, you build a life defined by growth, confidence, and freedom. You become unstoppable. Chapter 12. Say no to anything that weakens your future self. Saying no is one of the most important skills for protecting your future self. Every decision you make today shapes who you become tomorrow. Often people say yes to things that feel easy or tempting in the moment, but slowly chip away at their potential and well-being. Learning to say no is not about being rude or selfish. It's about setting boundaries and prioritizing your long-term growth and success over short-term comfort or distraction. When you master the ability to refuse what weakens you, you create space for what strengthens and empowers you. Many struggle with saying no because they fear rejection or disappointing others. They worry about missing out or being labeled difficult. These fears often lead to a pattern of overcommitting and sacrificing personal goals for external approval. But every yes to something that doesn't serve you is a no to your future. Saying no is an act of self-respect and clarity. It signals to yourself and others that you value your time, energy, and vision. It is a key practice for building resilience and focus. To start saying no effectively, you must first know your priorities clearly. When your goals and values are defined, it becomes easier to evaluate opportunities and requests against them. Ask yourself honestly, does this action or commitment move me closer to the person I want to become? Does it add value to my future? If the answer is no or even uncertain, then the best response is often to say no. This simple question creates a powerful filter that protects your energy from unnecessary drain. Saying no also involves understanding your limits. You are not a machine. You have finite time, energy, and attention. When you take on too much, your effectiveness suffers. Your focus dilutes. Your stress increases. By refusing tasks, habits, or relationships that deplete you, you preserve your capacity for what matters most. This is not laziness, it is strategic self-care. It allows you to show up fully in the areas that truly impact your future. It helps to practice saying no in small ways. Start with minor requests or distractions that do not align with your goal. Decline invitations to events that do not support your growth. Avoid activities that consume time but provide no lasting benefit. Each small no builds confidence and makes future no's easier. Over time, you develop a healthy boundary-setting muscle that protects your focus and purpose. Another important aspect is learning to say no to harmful habits and behaviors. This might mean refusing to engage in negative self-talk, avoiding procrastination, resisting unhealthy food or lifestyle choices, or stopping impulsive spending. These silent no's to yourself can have the biggest impact on your future success. They reinforce discipline and self-control, which are foundations of lasting achievement. Saying no is also about cutting out distractions that steal your mental clarity. Social media scrolling, excessive entertainment, toxic conversations, these consume valuable time and mental energy. While relaxation and fun are necessary, unchecked indulgence erodes your ability to concentrate and create. Setting limits on these distractions is a form of saying no to what weakens your future self. When you say no to others, do so respectfully but firmly. Clear communication reduces misunderstandings and guilt. You don't need to over-explain or justify your decisions. A simple, honest response shows you are serious about your commitments and respect both your time and theirs. Boundaries become easier to maintain when you are consistent and confident in your choices. Sometimes saying no means saying yes to yourself, and that can feel uncomfortable. You may face pushback or pressure from people who don't understand your focus. Stay grounded in your vision. Remember that every no you say to outside demands is a yes to your growth and well-being. Your future self depends on these decisions. It is also vital to recognize when your guilt or obligation feelings are misplaced. You are not responsible for everyone's happiness or convenience. Saying yes out of guilt often leads to resentment and burnout. Instead, practice compassion for yourself. Your needs matter. You are allowed to protect your time and energy without apology. Evaluate your commitments regularly. Life changes, priorities shift, and what once served you may no longer fit. Don't hesitate to say no to things you once said yes to. Reclaim your time and space continuously. This ongoing process ensures that your future self remains strong and focused. Saying no to what weakens you opens doors to new opportunities that align with your goals. When your energy is not scattered, you can pursue your passions and ambitions with clarity and intensity. You become more productive, creative, and fulfilled. This discipline creates momentum and builds a cycle of positive growth. Surround yourself with people who respect your no's. They will understand your boundaries and support your focus. Being around those who push you to say yes to distractions only makes saying no harder. The right environment reinforces your commitment to protecting your future self. Self-reflection is key to improving your ability to say no. Regularly ask yourself which no's were difficult and why. Learn from those moments. Identify emotional triggers, like fear of missing out, need for approval, or avoidance of conflict. Awareness of these triggers helps you respond with greater clarity and strength in the future. Remember that saying no is a skill that improves with practice. It requires courage and self-awareness. It also demands patience with yourself. You will sometimes slip into old patterns, but that is part of the journey. Every time you choose no over yes to weakness, you reinforce your growth and strengthen your future. Ultimately, your future self is the sum of your daily choices. Saying no to what diminishes you is as important as saying yes to what empowers you. It keeps your life aligned with your deepest values and highest goals. It protects your mental, emotional, and physical resources so that you can perform at your best consistently. Make saying no a habit. View it as a form of self-love and strategic decision-making. When you protect your future self today, you build a foundation for lasting success, health, and happiness. Your future self will thank you for every no that kept you strong, focused, and moving forward with purpose. Chapter 13. Show up on time and give your full best effort. Showing up on time and putting forth your full effort are simple but profound habits that create a foundation for success in every area of life. Many people underestimate the power of punctuality and wholehearted commitment, but these qualities communicate respect, reliability, and dedication. They set you apart in a world where excuses, delays, and half-hearted attempts have become too common. When you consistently show up ready to give your best, you build trust, open doors, and build momentum toward your goals. Punctuality is more than just being physically present at the right time. It reflects your mindset and values. When you show up late, even by a few minutes, you send a message to yourself and others that your time or the opportunity is not your priority. This weakens your credibility and lowers others' expectations of you. On the other hand, showing up on time shows discipline and respect. It tells people you are dependable and serious about what you do. This reputation becomes an asset in your personal and professional life. Arriving early or exactly on time also allows you to prepare mentally and emotionally for what lies ahead. It gives you a moment to collect your thoughts, breathe and focus before engaging. This preparation improves your performance and confidence. When you rush in at the last second, you start off on the back foot, stressed, distracted and unprepared. Being punctual primes you for success. Showing up on time is a habit that requires intentional planning and prioritization. It means understanding your commitments and managing your schedule realistically. It means leaving enough buffer time to account for unexpected delays. It means valuing punctuality as part of your character, not just an occasional convenience. Developing this habit may require changes to your routines, like setting earlier alarms or preparing your essentials the night before. These small adjustments pay big dividends over time. Equally important is the commitment to give your full best effort when you show up. Half-hearted participation rarely leads to meaningful progress or respect. Your effort is a reflection of your integrity and work ethic. When you consistently put in your best, you develop skills faster, build stronger relationships and create a track record of excellence. Others notice your dedication and are more likely to trust you with bigger responsibilities and opportunities. Giving your full effort does not mean perfection or exhausting yourself. It means showing up ready to engage fully with the task or interaction at hand. It means being present, focused, and willing to push through challenges. It means refusing to settle for mediocrity or excuses. This mindset shifts your experience from merely completing tasks to mastering your craft and growing as a person. Effort is contagious. When you give your all, you inspire others to raise their standards too. Teams and groups thrive when each member commits fully. Your effort contributes not only to your success, but also to the success of those around you. This positive influence increases your impact and creates environments where excellence is the norm. Another benefit of showing up on time and giving your best effort is the internal satisfaction and confidence it builds. When you honor your commitments with punctuality and dedication, you reinforce your self-worth. You prove to yourself that you can be trusted. This self-trust fuels motivation and resilience because you know you are capable of consistent action. Avoid waiting for motivation or perfect conditions to show up fully. Often motivation follows action, not the other way around. When you commit to arriving on time and giving your best regardless of how you feel, you develop discipline. Discipline becomes the foundation for long-term success because it does not rely on temporary emotions. You build a habit of reliability and excellence that carries you through ups and downs. Challenges and obstacles will arise. There will be days when giving your full effort feels difficult. That is normal. The difference is in your response. Choosing to show up on time and commit wholeheartedly, even on tough days, separates those who achieve from those who give up. Over time, this consistent commitment creates a momentum that makes the hard days easier and the easy days more productive. Preparation also plays a vital role in supporting punctuality and effort. When you prepare well, you reduce stress and increase your ability to perform at your best. Preparation includes planning your day, organizing materials, reviewing goals, and getting enough rest. It is the behind-the-scenes work that makes showing up on time and fully engaged possible. Skipping preparation often leads to last-minute scrambling and reduced effort. Recognize that punctuality and effort extend beyond work or formal commitments. They apply to all relationships and opportunities in your life. Being on time and present for your family, friends, and yourself strengthens trust and connection. Putting your best effort into your health, learning, and personal growth accelerates your progress and fulfillment. These habits become a way of life, not just tasks to check off. When you consistently show up on time and give your best, you build a reputation that precedes you. People come to rely on you, doors open without you needing to push. Opportunities find you because your reliability and excellence attract them. This reputation becomes a valuable asset that compounds over time, creating success that feels natural and deserved. Practicing gratitude for the chance to show up and contribute also enhances your effort. When you appreciate the opportunity, you naturally want to make the most of it. Gratitude shifts your focus from pressure and obligation to purpose and possibility. It fuels your energy and commitment. To cultivate these habits, track your punctuality and effort daily. Notice patterns and identify obstacles. Celebrate improvements and hold yourself accountable for setbacks. Over time, this awareness leads to stronger habits and better results. In the end, showing up on time and giving your full best effort is a simple formula for building trust, competence, and confidence. It shapes your character and influences every outcome you pursue. These habits are available to everyone, but only those who choose them consistently will experience the profound benefits. Your future success depends on how you show up today. When you honor your time and commitments with punctuality and wholehearted effort, you create a life of reliability, growth, and achievement. Start now, be present, be ready, give your best. Your life will reflect the respect and dedication you bring to every moment. Chapter 14. Master one skill that increases your life value. Mastering a single skill that significantly increases your life value is one of the most strategic and impactful moves you can make for personal and professional growth. In a world filled with distractions and endless possibilities, focusing on mastering one key ability allows you to build depth rather than spreading yourself thin across many superficial interests. This focused mastery not only boosts your confidence, but also makes you indispensable in your career and life. It creates a foundation for ongoing success and opens doors to opportunities that require expertise and reliability. Choosing the right skill to master is a crucial step. It should be something that aligns with your passion, interests, and long-term goals. Consider what abilities provide the most value in your field or area of life you want to excel in. Think about skills that solve problems, increase productivity, or create meaningful impact. It could be communication, leadership, coding, writing, negotiation, or even emotional intelligence. The key is to pick one skill that resonates deeply and offers practical benefits. Once you've identified your skill, commit to consistent, focused practice. Mastery is not a matter of talent alone, but of deliberate effort over time. Small daily actions, practicing, learning, reflecting, compound into expertise. Avoid the temptation to jump from one skill to another or seek quick fixes. Real mastery requires patience, discipline, and resilience. Embrace the process as a journey rather than a destination. Developing a routine dedicated to your skill ensures steady progress. Set specific goals and milestones to measure your growth. Track your improvements and challenges honestly. Seek feedback from trusted mentors, peers, or coaches who can guide you objectively. Their insights help you identify blind spots and refine your technique. Learning from others who have already mastered the skill accelerates your growth. Mastering a skill also means embracing failure and setbacks as essential parts of learning. Mistakes are not signs of inability, but opportunities to improve. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is persistence through difficulties. When you face frustration or slow progress, remind yourself that mastery takes time and effort. Celebrate small wins and keep your vision clear. Another critical element is applying your skill regularly in real-world situations. Theory alone is not enough. Use your skill in your job, projects, or daily life to deepen understanding and build confidence. Practical application exposes nuances that practice alone cannot teach. It also demonstrates your competence to others, building your reputation and influence. Continuous learning is part of mastery. Stay curious and updated with new developments related to your skill. Read books, Attend workshops, watch tutorials, and engage with communities of practice. This ongoing learning prevents stagnation and keeps your ability relevant and sharp. Balancing mastery with humility is important. No matter how skilled you become, remain open to new ideas and perspectives. Avoid arrogance or complacency. True mastery involves lifelong commitment to growth and adaptation. This mindset keeps you flexible and ready for challenges. Mastering one skill also strengthens related skills and habits. For example, developing leadership improves communication, decision-making, and emotional intelligence. Mastery creates positive ripple effects throughout your personal and professional life, enhancing your overall value. Your skill becomes a cornerstone of your personal brand. It distinguishes you in competitive environments and increases your confidence in negotiations, interviews, and networking. People seek out those who have mastered relevant abilities because they solve problems and deliver results. Investing in one skill also reduces overwhelm. Instead of juggling multiple interests, your focused effort provides clarity and purpose. You know where to direct your energy and how to prioritize learning and growth activities. This focused approach leads to deeper satisfaction and greater achievements. Mastering a skill requires mindset shifts as well. Move from a fixed mindset of "I'm either good or bad" to a growth mindset of "I can improve with effort." This shift empowers you to embrace challenges and persist through obstacles. Find ways to stay motivated during the mastery process. Celebrate milestones, reward yourself, and remind yourself of the benefits mastery will bring. Connect your daily practice to your larger life vision. When motivation dips, return to your why. Avoid distractions that pull you away from focused practice. Limit multitasking and set aside dedicated time for skill development. Creating an environment that supports deep work enhances the quality of your practice. Remember that mastery is not about perfection, but progress. Each step forward adds to your capability and confidence. Keep refining, learning, and applying. Your skill grows stronger every day. Eventually, your mastered skill becomes a source of personal fulfillment. It gives you a sense of achievement and identity. It empowers you to contribute meaningfully to your work, community, and family. It provides financial and professional stability by making you valuable and sought after. Mastering one skill is not limiting, it is liberating. It anchors your growth, builds your confidence, and prepares you for new challenges. As you deepen your expertise, new opportunities and skills naturally emerge. Your focus creates a strong foundation upon which you can build a rich and successful life. Start today by choosing your skill wisely. Commit fully to learning and practicing. Seek guidance, embrace challenges, and apply your knowledge. Your consistent effort will transform your ability and your life. Mastery is within your reach. All it requires is focus, patience, and action. Chapter 15. Track your progress and improve one habit weekly. Tracking your progress and focusing on improving one habit every week is a powerful approach to continuous personal growth. Change doesn't happen overnight, and trying to fix everything at once often leads to overwhelm and burnout. By narrowing your attention to one habit at a time, you create manageable goals that build momentum and confidence. This method allows you to experience steady improvement, making lasting transformation more achievable. The first step in this process is developing a reliable way to track your habits. Whether through a journal, a habit tracking app, or a simple checklist, recording your daily actions creates accountability and awareness. When you see your progress visually, you feel motivated to keep going. Tracking also highlights patterns and obstacles that you might not notice otherwise. Awareness is the foundation of change. Selecting which habit to focus on each week requires honest self-assessment. Identify the habits that have the greatest impact on your life goals and well-being. Prioritize habits that support your energy, productivity, relationships, or mindset. Avoid the temptation to pick too many at once. One habit, practiced consistently, is far more effective than several habits performed sporadically. Once you choose a habit, break it down into small, achievable steps. Clear, specific actions increase your chances of success. For example, instead of saying exercise more, set a goal like walk 10 minutes every morning. This clarity removes ambiguity and makes the habit easier to start and sustain. Focus on consistency rather than perfection. Missing a day does not mean failure, it is simply data to learn from. Reflect on what caused the missing, adjust your approach if necessary. Flexibility helps you maintain progress without losing motivation. Remember that habits are built through repetition and patience. Each week, set aside time to review your progress and plan for the next habit. Celebrate your successes no matter how small. Positive reinforcement encourages continued effort. Use setbacks as opportunities to identify barriers and develop strategies to overcome them. This reflective practice deepens your understanding and strengthens your growth mindset. Improving one habit weekly also prevents overwhelm. It respects your natural limits and acknowledges that meaningful change takes time. This approach fits easily into busy lives and allows you to maintain balance across different areas, such as work, health, and relationship. When you master this rhythm of tracking and focused improvement, you build confidence in your ability to change. You begin to trust the process and your capacity for growth. This self-trust becomes a powerful motivator that drives you to take on bigger challenges over time. Tracking progress also enhances your decision-making. When you have clear data about your actions and results, you can make informed choices about what to continue, adjust, or stop. This intentional approach reduces wasted effort and increases efficiency. It transforms growth from guesswork into a purposeful journey. Another benefit is increased self-awareness. Tracking reveals how habits influence your mood, energy, and productivity. You become more attuned to what works best for you personally, rather than relying on generic advice. This personalized understanding empowers you to create a lifestyle aligned with your unique needs and goals. Focusing on one habit at a time also makes it easier to build momentum. Each success fuels motivation to tackle the next habit. Over weeks and months, these small improvements accumulate into significant life changes. This gradual progress is sustainable and rewarding. Avoid the trap of perfectionism. Improvement is about progress, not flawless execution. Be kind to yourself and acknowledge effort. Self-compassion strengthens resilience and encourages persistence through challenges. Sharing your habit goals with a friend, coach, or community increases accountability and support. When others know your intentions, they can encourage you, celebrate your wins, and help you stay on track. This social aspect makes the process more enjoyable and motivating. Remember that some habits support others. For example, improving sleep can enhance focus and energy, making it easier to adopt healthy eating or exercise habits. Look for habits that create positive ripple effects in your life. This strategic selection maximizes your results. Be patient with yourself as you build new habits. Change often involves discomfort and adjustment. Expect and accept that some days will be harder than others. Perseverance through these moments is what ultimately leads to mastery. Use reminders and triggers to support your new habits. Linking a habit to an existing routine or cue helps it become automatic. For example, flossing right after brushing your teeth makes it easier to remember. These small aids reduce the mental effort required and increase consistency. Tracking progress also helps identify habits that no longer serve you. As you grow, some habits may become obsolete or counterproductive. Regular review allows you to release what is not helpful and replace it with better choices. This ongoing refinement keeps your growth aligned with your evolving goals. At the end of each week, reflect on what you learned about yourself and your behavior. Use these insights to set smarter goals for the next habit. This continuous learning cycle accelerates your development and deepens your self-understanding. Tracking and improving one habit weekly is a practical, sustainable way to build the life you want. It breaks down overwhelming goals into manageable actions and creates a clear path forward. With this approach, you develop discipline, awareness, and confidence that extend far beyond individual habits. Start by choosing one habit today. Commit to tracking your progress and adjusting as needed. Celebrate every step forward and be patient with setbacks. Over time, this simple system transforms your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your life. Consistent improvement is the key to getting ahead and staying ahead. Chapter 16. Stay calm under stress and lead by clear example. Staying calm under stress is one of the most valuable skills you can develop for both personal success and effective leadership. Stress is inevitable, but how you respond to it determines your results and influence. When you maintain calmness during difficult moments, you gain clarity and control over your actions. This calm presence not only benefits you, but also inspires and steadies those around you. Leading by example in stressful situations demonstrates strength, wisdom, and reliability, qualities that earn respect and trust. Stress triggers automatic reactions like anxiety, frustration, or panic, which cloud judgment and impair decision-making. Learning to manage these reactions starts with awareness. Notice your physical and emotional signals when stress arises: racing heart, shallow breathing, tension. Recognizing these early signs gives you the opportunity to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This moment of pause is crucial for maintaining composure. Breathing techniques are simple yet powerful tools to regain calm quickly. Deep, slow breaths activate the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing the fight or flight response. Practice mindful breathing regularly so it becomes an automatic response to stress. Even a few deep breaths can lower tension and improve focus in high-pressure situations. Another key strategy is shifting your mindset about stress. Instead of viewing it as a threat, see it as a challenge or opportunity to grow. This reframing changes your emotional response and increases resilience. When you approach stress with curiosity and problem-solving energy, you remain calm and proactive. You stop being overwhelmed by circumstances and start taking control. Preparation also reduces stress and supports calm leadership. When you anticipate potential challenges and develop plans, you feel more confident facing uncertainty. Being well prepared allows you to respond calmly because you have options and strategies rather than feeling trapped. Preparation builds trust in yourself and reassures others that challenges are manageable. Staying calm under stress also involves managing your thoughts. Stress often triggers negative or catastrophic thinking that escalates anxiety. Learn to recognize unhelpful thoughts and replace them with realistic, constructive ones. Focus on what you can control rather than what is uncertain. This mental discipline keeps you grounded and focused on solutions. When leading others during stressful times, your behavior sets the tone. People look to leaders for cues on how to respond. If you panic or react emotionally, it creates confusion and fear. When you remain calm, clear, and steady, it calms the group and creates a sense of safety. Your example provides a model for others to follow, helping them regulate their own stress. Clear communication is essential in stressful situations. Speak calmly and directly. Avoid vague or alarmist language that can increase anxiety. Provide clear instructions and share your reasoning to build trust and cooperation. When people understand the plan and feel informed, they are less likely to panic or resist. Leading by example means showing integrity and consistency. Your calm under pressure must be authentic and practiced regularly, not just performed when convenient. This authenticity builds credibility and respect. Others are more willing to follow someone who demonstrates strength, not only in easy times, but especially during crises. Self-care supports your ability to stay calm. Stress management requires good physical health, sufficient sleep, proper nutrition, and regular exercise. Neglecting these areas weakens your resilience and increases reactivity. Prioritize self-care as a foundational part of your leadership and personal effectiveness. Learning to manage stress also involves accepting what you cannot control. Some situations are unpredictable and outside your influence. Fighting or resisting reality only increases frustration and stress. Instead, focus your energy on your response and actions. This acceptance frees mental space and supports calmness. Practice scenarios where you intentionally expose yourself to manageable stresses to build your tolerance. Over time, your nervous system adapts and you become less reactive. This gradual exposure builds confidence in your ability to handle pressure without losing control. Reflect regularly on your stress responses. Notice what works and what does not. Adjust your strategies based on experience and feedback. Continuous learning improves your ability to stay calm and lead effectively. Support networks are important for managing stress. Surround yourself with trusted people who provide encouragement, advice, and perspective. Sharing your challenges reduces isolation and increases your capacity to cope. Leaders who seek support demonstrate humility and wisdom. In stressful moments, focus on your purpose and values. Reminding yourself why you are doing the work helps maintain perspective and motivation. When stress feels overwhelming, reconnecting with your mission gives you strength and clarity. Calm leadership also involves patience. Complex problems rarely resolve instantly. Showing patience models emotional control and builds trust. It encourages thoughtful decision-making rather than rushed, reactive actions. Finally, practice gratitude even under stress. Recognizing positive aspects and progress amidst challenges helps balance your perspective. Gratitude reduces negativity and supports a calm, optimistic mindset. Staying calm under stress and leading by clear example is a skill that transforms your life and influence. It requires awareness, practice, and self-care. This calm strength empowers you to navigate difficulties with clarity and confidence. It inspires those around you and builds environments where challenges become opportunity. Commit to developing this vital ability and watch your personal and professional life improve profoundly. Chapter 17. Take care of your body through daily healthy choices. Taking care of your body through daily healthy choices is essential for living a vibrant, energetic, and fulfilling life. Your body is the foundation for everything you want to achieve, yet many people overlook the importance of consistent care. Small, intentional actions each day create a ripple effect that supports long-term health and well-being. This commitment is not about perfection or extreme measures, but about respectful, practical habits that sustain and strengthen your body over time. Every healthy choice you make contributes to your physical vitality. The food you eat fuels your energy and repairs your cells. Prioritizing nutrient-dense, whole foods helps your body function optimally. Fresh vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and whole grains provide essential vitamins and minerals that support immune function, brain health, and energy levels. Avoiding processed foods, excess sugar, and unhealthy fats reduces inflammation and disease risk. When you choose nourishing meals regularly, you build a resilient body that supports your daily activities and goals. Hydration is another critical component of physical care. Drinking enough water each day maintains proper bodily functions, improves digestion, and enhances mental clarity. Many people underestimate how dehydration affects mood, focus, and energy. Making water your primary beverage and reducing sugary drinks helps your body stay balanced and efficient. Keeping a water bottle nearby and sipping throughout the day creates a simple habit with profound benefits. Movement is vital for maintaining strength, flexibility, and cardiovascular health. Daily physical activity does not mean intense workouts every day, but incorporating consistent movement in forms that you enjoy and can sustain. Walking, stretching, yoga, swimming, or even household chores contribute to your overall fitness. Regular movement improves circulation, supports joint health, and reduces stress. It also boosts mood and cognitive function through the release of endorphins and increased blood flow to the brain. Rest and recovery are equally important. Your body needs sufficient sleep to repair tissues, consolidate memory, and regulate hormones. Poor or inadequate sleep weakens your immune system and diminishes cognitive performance. Establishing a consistent sleep routine, creating a restful environment, and avoiding stimulants before bedtime support quality rest. Giving yourself permission to rest without guilt acknowledges that recovery is part of health. Managing stress directly impacts your physical health. Chronic stress contributes to inflammation, high blood pressure, and a host of illnesses. Incorporating relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or spending time in nature lowers stress hormones and improves well-being. Recognizing stress triggers and taking proactive steps to reduce them protects your body from wear and tear. Avoiding harmful habits like smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, and drug use is essential for maintaining health. These behaviors damage organs, weaken immunity, and reduce lifespan. Choosing to say no to substances that harm your body reinforces your commitment to well-being and longevity. Listening to your body is a powerful skill. Pay attention to signs of fatigue, pain, or discomfort. Ignoring symptoms often leads to more severe problems. Regular checkups with healthcare providers and timely interventions prevent complications. Being proactive about your health shows respect and care for your body. Balanced nutrition, hydration, movement, rest, and stress management form an interconnected system that supports your body holistically. When one area is neglected, others suffer. Prioritizing daily healthy choices means addressing all these components consistently. Creating routines around healthy habits makes them easier to maintain. Planning meals, scheduling exercise, and setting reminders for hydration or relaxation embed care into your daily life. Consistency, even with small steps, builds momentum and lasting change. Healthy choices are not about deprivation, but empowerment. Choose foods and activities that make you feel good and enhance your life. Experiment with new recipes, exercises, or relaxation techniques to discover what works best for you. This personalized approach increases enjoyment and sustainability. Surround yourself with environments and people that support your health goals. Social connections influence behavior positively. When your community values health, you are more likely to maintain your habits. Seek support groups, fitness buddies, or family involvement to stay motivated. Education plays a key role in making informed choices. Stay curious about nutrition, exercise, and wellness topics from credible sources. Understanding the why behind habits strengthens your commitment and helps you navigate conflicting information. Celebrate progress and milestones on your health journey. Acknowledge the improvements in energy, mood, or physical ability. Positive reinforcement encourages ongoing effort and builds confidence. Accept that setbacks may happen without judgment. Illness, busy schedules, or life events can disrupt routines. Use these moments to learn and adjust rather than give up. Flexibility and compassion support resilience. Integrating mindful eating practices enhances your relationship with food. Pay attention to hunger and fullness cues. Eat without distractions and savor each bite. This mindfulness reduces overeating and improves digestion. Regularly assess and update your health goals as your needs evolve. What worked at one stage of life may require adaptation later. Staying flexible and responsive ensures continued progress. Remember that daily healthy choices accumulate into lifelong benefits. Every nutritious meal, every glass of water, every step taken adds up. This steady care preserves your vitality, independence, and quality of life. Taking care of your body daily is an act of self-respect and love. It empowers you to face challenges with strength, clarity, and endurance. Your body deserves your attention and care because it carries you through every moment of your life. Begin today by choosing one healthy action to practice consistently. Build from there with patience and dedication. Over time, these choices transform your health and your life. Chapter 18. Ask for help and grow through honest feedback. Asking for help and embracing honest feedback are essential steps on the path to growth and improvement. Many people resist seeking support or hearing criticism because of pride, fear, or discomfort. However, these actions are not signs of weakness, but marks of strength and maturity. When you learn to ask for help and accept honest feedback with openness, you accelerate your progress, avoid costly mistakes, and develop deeper self-awareness. This willingness to be vulnerable unlocks new levels of learning and connection. The first step is recognizing that nobody achieves success alone. Everyone needs assistance at different points, whether for guidance, resources, or emotional support. Asking for help shows you value growth more than pride. It allows you to tap into others' knowledge and experience, saving time and effort. When you reach out genuinely, you invite collaboration and create relationships based on trust and respect. Approach asking for help with clarity and respect. Be specific about what you need and why. People are more willing to assist when the request is clear and reasonable. Avoid vague or passive pleas that burden others. Express gratitude and be ready to reciprocate support when possible. This mutual exchange strengthens bonds and creates a positive cycle of growth. Receiving honest feedback can be challenging because it often highlights areas for improvement or mistakes. The natural reaction might be defensiveness or denial. Overcoming this requires a mindset shift. View feedback as valuable information that helps you grow rather than a personal attack. When you separate your self-worth from criticism, you become open to learning and change. Listen actively when receiving feedback. Avoid interrupting or explaining yourself prematurely. Instead, focus on understanding the other person's perspective and intent. Ask clarifying questions to ensure you grasp the message fully. This respectful approach fosters constructive dialogue and signals your genuine desire to improve. Reflect on the feedback objectively. Identify which parts are valid and actionable. Sometimes feedback includes subjective opinions. Filter these wisely. Use the constructive points to create a plan for change. Setting specific goals based on feedback turns insight into progress. This structured response reinforces your commitment to growth. Express appreciation for those who provide honest feedback. Giving feedback requires courage and care. Acknowledging this effort encourages ongoing dialogue and support. It also models humility and gratitude, qualities that attract further guidance. Developing a habit of seeking feedback regularly prevents surprises and stagnation. Instead of waiting for annual reviews or crises, proactively ask for input on your work, behavior, or decision. Frequent feedback creates a continuous improvement loop and strengthens relationships by keeping communication open. Asking for help and feedback also requires emotional resilience. Not all feedback will be easy to hear or implement. Some may trigger discomfort or doubt. Building emotional strength involves practicing self-compassion and separating your identity from your current abilities or actions. This perspective frees you to accept imperfection and focus on progress. Learning to ask for help and accept feedback grows your self-awareness. You begin to understand your strengths and weaknesses more clearly. This honest self-knowledge is the foundation for effective personal and professional development. It guides you to areas that need attention and leverages your talents wisely. When you model openness to help and feedback, you encourage others to do the same. This transparency creates environments of trust and continuous learning. Teams and communities thrive when members share insights and support growth. Your example contributes to a culture where improvement is welcomed, not feared. Overcoming the fear of judgment or rejection is often a barrier to asking for help. Remember that everyone faces challenges and nobody expects perfection. Most people appreciate honesty and are willing to assist. Reframing your perspective reduces anxiety and builds courage to reach out. Be mindful of whom you ask for help or feedback. Seek out those who are knowledgeable, trustworthy, and constructive. Avoid sources that are overly critical or dismissive. The quality of input you receive greatly influences your growth experience. Balance receiving feedback with trusting your own judgment. While external perspectives are valuable, your intuition and values also guide decisions. Use feedback as one tool among many in your development process. This balance maintains your authenticity and confidence. Take action on feedback promptly. Delaying changes or ignoring insights wastes opportunities for improvement. Demonstrating responsiveness builds your reputation as someone who learns and adapts. It also deepens others' willingness to invest time in your growth. Create systems to gather feedback effectively. Use surveys, regular check-ins, or informal conversations to collect diverse perspectives. Structured approaches ensure you hear from multiple sources and reduce bias. This comprehensive input paints a fuller picture of your progress. Recognize progress as you integrate feedback and support. Growth is often gradual and non-linear. Celebrate milestones and improvements to stay motivated. Acknowledging effort fuels further development and resilience. Ask for help, not only when you struggle, but also when you seek to expand your skills or knowledge. Proactive support accelerates learning and opens new opportunities. This forward-thinking approach prevents stagnation and keeps your growth trajectory moving upward. Practicing gratitude toward helpers and feedback providers strengthens relationships. Express your thanks sincerely and show how their input made a difference. This appreciation encourages continued support and builds lasting connection. Finally, cultivate humility as the foundation for asking help and receiving feedback. Humility is the understanding that growth is ongoing and no one has all the answers. It allows you to be teachable, open-minded, and adaptive. Humility frees you from the need to appear perfect and invites genuine learning. Asking for help and growing through honest feedback is a powerful combination that transforms your life. It accelerates your learning, builds deeper connections, and strengthens your resilience. This openness to support and insight is a key ingredient in achieving your highest potential. Embrace it fully and watch your progress and impact expand. Chapter 19. Reflect each night on what you learned today. Taking time each night to reflect on what you learned during the day is a simple yet transformative habit. Reflection deepens your understanding, reinforces important lessons, and helps you recognize progress. When you pause to consider your experiences, you create mental space for insights to emerge naturally. This daily practice supports continuous growth and prepares you to face tomorrow with greater clarity and purpose. Reflection begins by setting aside quiet moments without distractions. This intentional pause allows you to turn inward and review your day thoughtfully. It doesn't require long hours. Even 5 to 10 minutes of focused attention can make a meaningful difference. Consistency is more important than duration, so creating a routine around this practice helps make it sustainable. As you reflect, consider what you learned about yourself, others, and the world. Notice new information, skills, perspectives, or feelings that stood out. Reflect on both successes and challenges. Understanding what worked well reinforces positive habits, while examining difficulties reveals opportunities for improvement. This balanced review avoids judgment and promotes self-compassion. Ask yourself questions that prompt insight. What did I do today that moved me closer to my goals? What surprised me? What mistakes did I make and what can I learn from them? How did I handle stress or unexpected events? Who or what influenced me? These questions deepen your awareness and encourage honest evaluation. Journaling is a powerful tool for reflection. Writing down your thoughts organizes your mind and makes abstract ideas tangible. The act of putting experiences into words strengthens memory and understanding. Journals also create a record you can revisit to track growth over time. If writing is not preferred, verbal reflection or meditation can also be effective. Reflection helps identify patterns in your behavior and thinking. Over days and weeks you begin to see recurring themes that either support or hinder your progress. Awareness of these patterns allows you to make intentional changes rather than reacting unconsciously. This insight increases your control over personal development. Regular reflection enhances decision-making. When you consider past outcomes and lessons learned, you make wiser choices moving forward. You become more mindful of how your actions align with your values and goals. This thoughtful approach reduces impulsive mistakes and increases effectiveness. Reflection also nurtures gratitude and positivity. Recognizing daily achievements, no matter how small, boosts motivation and resilience. Celebrating progress encourages you to keep going even during tough times. It balances your perspective by highlighting growth alongside challenges. This habit strengthens emotional intelligence. By reviewing your emotional responses, you better understand triggers and coping strategies. You develop empathy for yourself and others. This emotional awareness improves relationships and communication. Reflection encourages lifelong learning. Instead of passively experiencing life, you actively extract meaning and lessons. This mindset keeps you curious and open to growth throughout your life. It fosters humility and adaptability by acknowledging there is always more to learn. Integrating reflection into your nightly routine signals your brain to process the day's experiences. This can improve sleep quality by reducing mental clutter and stress. Ending the day with clarity promotes relaxation and renewal. Set realistic expectations for your reflection practice. It's normal for some days to yield fewer insights or for your mind to wander. The key is to return consistently and cultivate patience. Over time, the quality and depth of your reflections will increase. Avoid harsh self-criticism during reflection. The goal is growth, not perfection. Approach yourself with kindness and curiosity. When you make mistakes, view them as opportunities rather than failures. This compassionate attitude supports resilience and motivation. Sharing reflections with a trusted friend, mentor, or coach can deepen understanding. External perspectives provide new angles and feedback. This dialogue enriches your learning and strengthens connections. Use insights from reflection to plan actionable steps for tomorrow. Identifying specific changes or continuations turns reflection into forward momentum. This practical application bridges the gap between awareness and behavior. Consider using tools like prompts, apps, or reminder alarms to support your reflection habit. These aids help build consistency and focus. Experiment with different formats to find what fits your lifestyle best. Reflection fosters a sense of purpose and meaning. When you connect daily experiences to your larger life vision, you feel more engaged and motivated. This alignment energizes your actions and strengthens commitment. Avoid using reflection time for rumination or worry. If negative thoughts arise, gently redirect focus to constructive learning and gratitude. Developing this mental discipline improves emotional well-being. Reflecting nightly builds self-trust. You learn to rely on your own wisdom and judgment. This confidence empowers independent decision-making and problem-solving. Over time, reflection cultivates a growth mindset. You see challenges as chances to develop rather than obstacles to avoid. This perspective encourages persistence and openness. Incorporate reflection as a foundation for other personal development practices like goal setting, meditation, or visualization. It complements and enhances these tools by grounding you in your current reality. Reflection is a gift you give yourself each day. It honors your experiences and supports your evolution. This simple habit unlocks deeper insight, improved choices, and greater fulfillment. Begin tonight by recalling one thing you learned and one thing you appreciate from your day. Let this small step start a powerful lifelong habit of mindful reflection and continuous growth. Chapter 20. Stay consistent even when motivation starts to fade. Consistency is the cornerstone of lasting success, especially when motivation begins to wane. Early enthusiasm often fuels new habits, projects, or goals, but that spark naturally fades over time. What separates those who achieve their dreams from those who fall short is the ability to keep moving forward even when excitement diminishes. Staying consistent during these moments requires discipline, purpose, and practical strategies that sustain action beyond feelings. Understanding that motivation fluctuates is essential. Motivation is an emotional energy that can rise and fall daily based on circumstances, mood, and external influences. Expecting it to remain high all the time is unrealistic and sets you up for disappointment. Instead, accept motivation as a helpful but unreliable companion and shift your reliance onto consistency, which is more stable and controllable. Creating strong habits forms the backbone of consistency. When actions become automatic, they require less mental effort and are less dependent on motivation. Habits are built through repetition and environment design. Establish clear routines around your goals and simplify decisions to reduce friction. For example, preparing your workout clothes the night before eliminates excuses in the morning. The more ingrained a habit is, the easier it is to sustain during low motivation. Setting clear, compelling reasons for your goals strengthens your commitment. Remind yourself regularly why the effort matters and what benefits you seek. Connecting actions to deeper values or meaningful outcomes provides fuel during tough times. This purpose acts as a guiding light that keeps you aligned and motivated beyond fleeting emotions. Breaking tasks into small, manageable steps also supports consistency. Large or complex goals can feel overwhelming and discourage action when motivation is low. Dividing work into bite-sized actions lowers resistance and makes progress visible. Even a few minutes of focused effort each day builds momentum and reinforces the habit loop. Accountability enhances consistency by adding external motivation and support. Sharing your goals with a trusted friend, coach, or group creates social pressure and encouragement to persist. Regular check-ins and reporting progress increase your sense of responsibility. This external connection reminds you that your actions impact not only yourself, but also others who believe in you. Developing a growth mindset helps maintain consistency through viewing challenges and failures as learning opportunities reduces discouragement and fosters persistence. When motivation fades due to obstacles or slow results, reminding yourself that progress is a process keeps you engaged. This mindset transforms difficulties into stepping stones rather than reasons to quit. Planning for motivation dips is a proactive strategy. Anticipate moments when enthusiasm will decline and prepare tactics to push through. This might include motivational reminders, rewarding small wins, changing your environment, or adjusting your schedule. Having a toolbox of strategies ready makes it easier to respond effectively instead of giving in to inertia. Self-discipline is like a muscle that strengthens with use. The more you practice consistency despite low motivation, the more resilient you become. This builds confidence and self-trust, reinforcing a positive cycle. Each time you act without relying on feelings, you prove to yourself that you can overcome internal resistance. Monitoring your progress provides motivation and feedback. Tracking achievements, no matter how small, creates a sense of accomplishment. Visual records like charts, journals, or apps make growth tangible and inspire continued effort. Reflecting on how far you've come boosts morale and renews commitment. Avoid all-or-nothing thinking that can sabotage consistency. Skipping one day or experiencing a setback doesn't erase progress. Treat these moments as normal and resume your routine promptly. This flexible mindset prevents guilt and defeatism that often lead to quitting. Prioritize rest and recovery to maintain sustainable consistency. Overworking or neglecting self-care can lead to burnout and decreased motivation. Balance effort with relaxation and nourishing activities. This holistic approach preserves energy and enthusiasm for the long term. Celebrate effort, not just results. Acknowledging your dedication to showing up regardless of motivation reinforces positive behavior. Rewarding yourself for persistence builds emotional connections to consistency and encourages repetition. Cultivate patience and realistic expectations. Significant achievements rarely happen overnight. Accepting gradual progress prevents frustration and keeps you moving steadily. Consistency, compounded over time, yields powerful outcomes. Use positive self-talk to combat negative thoughts that undermine motivation. Affirm your ability to persist and focus on past successes. This mental rehearsal strengthens resolve and keeps you engaged. Stay adaptable and willing to adjust your methods if needed. If certain approaches drain motivation, experiment with alternatives. Flexibility keeps the process fresh and aligned with your evolving needs. Surround yourself with environments that support consistency. Remove temptations and distractions that derail focus. Create spaces that inspire and facilitate your actions. Recognize the role of identity and consistency. When you see yourself as someone who follows through, your behavior aligns with that self-image. Reinforce this identity through affirmations and actions. Commitment is a daily choice to keep going despite feeling. Each decision to persist strengthens your habit and moves you closer to your goals. Embrace this power of choice as your greatest tool. In conclusion, staying consistent even when motivation fades demands discipline, clear purpose, supportive habits, and resilience. It requires understanding motivation's limits and building systems that rely on steady action. With patience and persistence, you transform effort into lasting change. Consistency becomes your foundation for success, propelling you forward when feelings alone are not enough. Keep moving, one step at a time, and the results will follow.